Hey guys, I just realized I'm on the wrong screen, so there you go. Today you're going to start a new section, 3-3. You need to copy everything I write into your math journals, and you need to watch the entire video because it's going to help you know exactly how to solve these problems, okay? And then when you do IXL, use a whiteboard or write the problems in your math journal so you don't make mistakes. All right, so here we go. We are solving equations using multiplication and division. So the same rules apply to the last video, which I heard most of you didn't watch, so this might be new for you, but it shouldn't be. You look at what's happening to the variable and you're going to do the opposite. So I see in this equation that -2 is being multiplied by g, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is division. I'm going to divide by whatever is next to my variable. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. It's a -2, so I have to divide by a -2 because I want to get that negative off my variable. On this side, I'm just left with g. And then -84 divided by -2 is going to equal a positive 41. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is to it. So if you need to pause and copy these down, do that now. If not, let's keep going. On the next problem, look at what's happening to the variable. Fractions mean divide. So division is happening with the variable. That means you're going to do the opposite, which is multiplication. You're going to multiply by whatever's on the bottom of this fraction. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. These two are going to equal 1. So I'm just left with t. And -5 times 7 is -35. Okay, let's keep going. Number 6. Again, I'm looking at what's happening with the variable. I see a fraction, which means divide, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is multiply. I am going to multiply by whatever's on the bottom. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Now, I'm going to put, for this problem, since there's a fraction on the other side, I'm going to put that imaginary 1 underneath to make it easier for me to solve this equation. So I'm just left with a on this side. And on this side, I'm going to multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators together. So let's do that. I have 4 times 36, which is 144, divided by 9 times 1, which is 9. And now I'm going to go ahead and divide that, because remember fraction means divide, so let's divide 144 divided by 9, and we get 16. So the simplest form of this problem is a equals 16. Okay? Next one. I am going to look at what's happening with the variable. Two things are written next to each other. That means multiply. So I'm going to do the opposite, which is divide. However, it's a fraction. And remember our rules when we're dividing fractions. We keep, change, flip. So in order to divide by 4/5 in this problem, I'm going to actually change the sign to multiply and flip what I am multiplying by. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So you multiply by the flip of the fraction, you get k equals, and now we're just multiplying the numerators again and multiplying the denominators again. So 8 times 5 is 40, and 9 times 4 is 36. And I could reduce that if I wanted to, because I can divide them both by 4, I believe, is the smallest number. So if I divide them both by 4, I will get 10 over 9. So k equals 10 over 9. Make sure you pause the video and copy all of this down. Watch it again if you need to. I'll be right back with some more. Okay, last two examples. So you always want to look at what's happening with the variable. This time the variable's on the other side of the equation. It doesn't matter where it's at. Find the variable and do the opposite of whatever's happening. So I see two things written next to each other, which means multiply. The opposite of that is divide. So I'm going to divide by whatever is next to my variable. 1.5. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Those are going to equal 1, and I'm just left with y. So let's divide 3.15 divided by 1.5, and we get 2.1. Okay, and now the last one has a couple extra steps, but it's okay, we can still do it. Nothing to be worried about. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the mixed numbers to improper fractions. And we do that by multiplying there and adding there. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. Keep the bottom number the same. And I'm just going to bring the rest of the equation down and rewrite everything. And then we're going to do the same for this mixed number over here. I'm going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Keep the bottom number the same. Now I can look at what's happening with the variable and do the opposite. Two things written next to each other means multiply, so I am going to divide. Remember, when we divide by a fraction, we keep, change, flip. So I'm changing the sign to multiply. I'm flipping the fraction I'm dividing by, because I'm dividing by whatever's next to the variable. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And those are going to cancel out. I'm just left with p, which is what I wanted. And then we're going to multiply the top numbers, the numerators, and multiply the denominators. So I have 5 times 4, which is 20, and 2 times 13, which is 26. And I can divide each of those by 2 to break this down a little bit. So let's do that to get it in simplest form. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 26 divided by 2 is 13. Okay, and that's it. So email me if you have any questions. Remember, on the IXL, you need to use a whiteboard or write it down, or you're going to get confused. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.